just create a safe space with the ultimate. Now everyone's locked in, ready to go, and Hogs will be on the thing. We'll have those initial strange portals set up, but how forward do you want to be? And I see Sentinels being all in, but more of a high ground approach, and because this Namor didn't take the portal, there's a lot of safe damage coming out from Vision. 2 early picks from SHROUD-X's team, and the Vanguards fall and crumble for Sentinels, and that'll be an early cap for Shroud.
My goodness, the portal's usually high ground, low ground. We had them both come together, and not only that, SHROUD-X coming huge with a triple pick. Ryan Mason couldn't even get a breath of fresh air before he ended up being eliminated. An insane, fast, early fight here, and SHROUD-X got to be feeling confident when you open up like that. That is a great way to get things started.
Absolutely, and now you're not going to really have time to rotate to the high ground if you're SHROUD-X, but Vision's going to be on this off angle, applying that poke. There's no fall-off damage with this Namor, but charging all in. He's got a disguise on, and Hogs is ready to deliver the hands, and Nuck didn't see that coming. Good freeze to buy some time, but it's a slow and not a stop because Sentinels only know the W key.
Yeah, huge early pick there on Nuck. Fidel's just trying to keep things alive there as Luna for a second. Getting closer to that ult of Fate of Both Worlds, 79% dead, but goes down as well. Now, Nuck's trying to make his way back, but there's no more healing. And just like that, Gomez getting the big pop, taking down both Vanguard's Impunity and Window. So that was a massive way to get things started, and a good turnaround there from Sentinels to get the point. 8% now to 39 of SHROUD-X.
Just really good focus fire, and Gomez is only going to scale up with that energy, finishing off all the kills. This triple Vanguard is going to be so hard to shred down. Vision and Doom need to find these off angles and maybe even go on a straight up 180 flank if they can, but Window got so low, almost stepping up too fast, but at least able to shield dance as much as they can. As SHROUD-X have to figure out, do they want to just go in through main or take any of these side doors? Good marking from Kaluj to see where that Hela could be to deny those angles. A toss up from Hogs. SHROUD-X in trouble. There's the Invisible Woman ultimate trying to heal Sentinels and to force SHROUD-X to take the fight in or be sealed away. An Eye of Agamotto though from Window is going to hurt, and Vision takes full advantage.
Wow, the Moby Dick, look at the whale. That was massive. I mean, that was an getting the pick there early on the Luna I thought was going to be a little bit dangerous, but no, Gomez comes in trying to get a little steam going. Doomed and Nuck falling down, and the controls going back to SHROUD-X here. But my gosh, what an insane battle. Before the ultimate fireworks could happen, we had picks go down, and that made things a little bit different than what they were expecting.
And Hogs, the thing, is so good at setting up his team. You got Eye of Agamotto, you have Magneto. The Vanguards could really take over. And it is the Magneto from Collusion, blocked beautifully by Window in the strange wall. And there's the Eye of Agamotto in the sky, but Fidel still had the ultimate to keep everyone healed up as the Luna, the goddess of death, doing just that to deliver. Rymazing versus Doomed, and Rymazing falls. Amazing focus fire with the number advantage on SHROUD-X's side as they have such a solid lead.
Yeah, that was rough. Listen, they only had a couple ults to use there. The Agamotto from Gomez unfortunately did not land, and so then you had to rely on the Goddess of Death that got beamed down immediately. I mean, really not even a shot fired there from Rymazing. And then to finish that off, he then got eliminated right after that. So there's a reason I said SHROUD-X could win this thing. I felt like they could...
5v6.
Yeah, oh my goodness.
Aramori got picked by the Hela and the Eye of Agamotto. There's no way Sentinels can win this fight. It would take a miracle. It would take Hogs, but he's 6 feet under. SHROUD-X, the coordination is incredible.
This is a thing of beauty. I know Shroud is losing his mind right now, trying to keep his composure, and the team probably as well, because this was not expected, guys. We've been talking about Sentinels. They are the team. They have won multiple championships. Came in second in the Marvel Rival Championship. SHROUD-X, they did come in fourth previously, but this is a huge loss. They are ready for the action, taking Eldritch Monument first.
And on a domination, now you understand why that Namor was protected. When you have those squids on all these different walls, you just have this constant damage, able to build up that ultimate so fast, but also splits the focus because you can't let those squids live on. You have to shoot them down, and it's up to those duelists, and that's going to waste their time. And Doomed versus Rymazing. I mean, the numbers will tell a story once we go to that, but you talked about how important that ultimate lasting as long as it did. Doomed just had the backup of his team. Rymazing focused down. and we'll see if SHROUD-X can be the first team to take a map from Sentinels.
Yeah, listen, Vision said his favorite hero is Namor, and he gets to play today. Doom is going back on Hela, not the Bucky, because obviously Winter Soldier is going to be banned for this match. And I think, I mean, Namor is right at home for Vision. We saw some massive plays from him. Will we continue? Because now we have the flex from Gomez going from Tank Vanguard into Wolverine, the Vanguard Slayer.
Just looking for a kidnap, gonna play with this team, try and deliver that juicy target. But now with the portal in place, Window and friends from SHROUD-X have positioning on the point. Sentinels are going to have to push through a choke point. Ultimate's carried over, looking for the whale, looking for impunity to soak up some of this damage. Magneto, that's a good kidnapped. One coming in, and Gomez didn't get the full finish. Magneto ult to try and suppress Sentinels, keeps them stuck. The cap still hasn't gone through yet.
Yeah, Fidel has his damage boost that he can give to Vision and land the whale. That's a huge strategy to get these big kills. Will we see it? We've got the kidnap going on right now as we go into Gomez's ultimate. And Gomez trying to get the secure. Here comes the whale, and he gets the two-piece on Aramori and Rymazing. But Kalush trying to make some fight happen. Gomez also coming in. Gomez getting two now. It's getting close as Doom that we're trading back and forth. Doom getting two, Gomez getting two. And ultimately, it's going to be the Sentinels that are going to get this point after a slice and dice, but not if Doom has anything to say about it.
To buy himself, Doomed was like 2 HP, pops the ult so he can get an extra 1,000 and try and buy time, but it is Sentinels that cap the point. They are benefiting from this stall, and Gomez will find Doomed as soon as he pops out of that ultimate. It was so smart from Gomez to get out of line of sight from that Goddess of Death.
The trades there was insane. I mean, it was like, okay, I think this team's going to have it here. SHROUD-X has it. Then, oh, wait, it's Sentinels and Gomez really coming home here as Wolverine. And this is where I like him playing. You know, the Vanguard thing is fun, but I love watching him play Wolverine as we have clobbering time happening up and another attempt of a kidnap. Window taking down Hogs, though, an important pick here against the Vanguard. And we already have the invisible boundary popping as well. At this point, we have no one picked out outside of the early thing.
You did force important cooldowns, so Impunity was able to self-bubble, but Window is going to match on the thing, charge in, and be the front-facing Vanguard, but he is getting poked down. The ball from SHROUD-X is being a little bit split. Maybe there's someone from Sentinels flanking. Gomez does get stunned, and they need to deal with this Wolverine. Gomez has been a problem, and SHROUD-X are deadly.
Window with that perfect setup of clobbering time. Did you guys see that? I mean, absolutely set the team up, stunned them all, and then the entire SHROUD-X team collapsed and took them all out together. Now, that fight took a while, so 62% now over to them. And typically in domination maps, the first team to cap is the team that has the momentum. Can they flip the script here? That's what I want to see as we have Window now coming in to bring the fight a little bit to the Sentinels.
Fidel and Aramori, fate of both worlds, the Luna ults to sustain. May just be the fight that never ends. A ton of ultimates, no clear advantage, but Sentinels pushing through this narrow choke point. Try and split through both lanes as Doomed is gonna rain damage from above and now has to deal with the squids from that Namor, and Vision has to disengage. Magneto ult burst from Kalush. Impunity will wait for his moment and not able to burst down Fidelna, maybe because of Nook denying that vision from the Magneto ult, or trying to at least get the heals going. It's matched by Aramori. That Luna ult now from Fidel's side, and all the strategist ultimates out of the picture. So you're worried about damage now fully lasting once those have expired. Doom, though, did just get stunned and won't be able to pop the Goddess of Death. Such a critical pick from Sentinels, but they'll need a full wipe. But with Gomez and the rest unleashing, this is a Sentinels fight.
A beautiful trade of support ultimates back and forth, but wait a second. Now, with it, Kurova had to charge up their ultimate, and it was perfect for Aramori, just stalling enough to pop the fate of both worlds, keep their team in it, as we had the Invisible Woman Nuck from the other side get their ultimate up, and it was traded back and forth, and that pick on Doomed in Division eliminated the duelist from the fight, and really they could snowball from there. 77% now going to Sentinels. SHROUD-X, 75. What are we going to see here?
But these Vanguards from SHROUD-X gotta protect what Gomez, and he steals away the Hell, which may not be a lady you want to be in a dark alley, but trades are pretty close. But the ults, the Whale, you don't have the Luna ult to have that one-shot combo with Vision, but it can still be the CC to toss Sentinels for a loop. We enter overtime with Sentinels captured, with Sentinels in a lead, Rymazing on the disengage, Magneto, Kaluge with an important pick onto Nook to deny the Invisible Woman ult, and this means Gomez can go crazy in the backline. Sentinels, it works out.
Nook was so close getting that strategist ultimate. He almost had it, and that Kaluge, that ultimate, that's where everything was riding on. And the fact that he nailed that, that is absolute beauty. I mean, that was so close, but the way the Sentinels responded there, that's what we wanted to see out of today. We wanted to see if we would get a intense, close matchup, and they were like, wait now. We're not out of this thing. We know who we are, and they came back, and they responded. But here's the thing. We've got a lot of ultimates now online for SHROUD-X, so they do have a little bit of firepower going in, especially looking at the support ults. Kurova here having nothing, and so interested as we look into the stats that tell the story.
Man, Window versus Hogs? I don't want to be a numbers Andy, but Window is doing work as just the double Vanguard setup. And of course, Gomez has been able to displace and raise a lot of fire alarms when you're able to steal one of the duelists away from their setups and force them to pay attention to Gomez, who's been an absolute menace.
Yeah, Hogs is really bringing a lot today. But, I mean, Window and the way that the thing has been pulling together those combos has been exciting. And if you look, they got the combo ready. They can open this fight with huge ultimate fireworks. And will they hold on to it? We'll see as the Snowflake goes on to Doom there. And the Snowflake tell it really hard to take down with that consistent healing as they take the top path. Both teams taking it, about to clash.
6 ultimates from SHROUD-X. You're throwing if you don't win this. It starts with Kaluge, but Fidel falls from a beautiful shot from Rymazing. This is going to be tough to come back from, especially with only 2 strategists being played. It's up to Nook to choose the moment carefully to pop the boundary. The Goddess of Death, Doomed, is looking for picks. SHROUD-X have been CC'd, and Sentinels are throwing almost every ultimate at them. And finally, those eliminations follow through. Sentinels finish what they started.
Yeah, I was hoping to see them not use their ultimates after the early pick. I mean, listen, Sentinels are taking out the strategist early, and that is what's kind of throwing everything off. We have a few ultimates go with Doom getting the pick on Gomez. A little bit of momentum as they're pushing into the point here, but they've got to make a statement as they do have the combo with Clobber in time. They do have Luna's damage ramp up. They've got the Whale. They can make something happen here. And if we look at the strategist ultimates for Sentinels, really it's only Invisible Woman, Close, and Kurova. So they've got a big setup here that they can put together.
And just the orb is forcing Doom to reposition off that high ground, and Vision! First blood again! The Whale on top, and maybe with this Magneto ult that could have been canceled. Either way, Sentinels are stuck, not able to start a fight on a good note because of this darn Namor.
Yeah, the King of the Seas is now Vision. I mean, I've seen tremendous Namor play from Vision today. I mean, yes, the Squids, they do some, but man, he is nailing the Tritons in just beautiful play after play. Definitely loving Vision here on Namor today. We saw a lot of Hela yesterday, so it's cool to see the swap here and just how flexible these teams are. Now, looking up, we do have Kurova with their strategist ultimate, able to put the invisible boundary up, and Gomez ready to try to steal and get a clutch Vanguard kill. And Fidel has the strategist ultimate as well, so here comes the clash.
I was gonna say, that wall is really getting it, but Window is just so angry. Drops down to half health, just flew off the map. Good space creation from Sentinels, but the high ground's being dominated by SHROUD-X. This is poke that is hurting Sentinels in the end, but the invisible boundary is gonna deny that line of sight from those duelists. All the strategist ultimates out, pretty much used at the same time, so the resources are pretty even. Everyone was nicely grouped up. Doomed is pretty low, needs to get into that Goddess of Death form, but again, the picks continue for SHROUD-X.
Nook with the force push off the edge, and Gomez trying to keep his passive, jumping off, doesn't want to burn the passive, it looks like, and they all just jumped off to follow. Nook with a massive force push being able to take Kaluj out was incredible. Hats off to that. That was awesome to see, Nuck.
Now getting off the Wolverine, Hela, and Namor being utilized from Sentinels. But SHROUD-X, they've been having the high ground. Sentinels want to deny just that. Power position, they get to dictate the fight. Big ultimate, Goddess of Death. Will Doomed really be able to thrive during that chaos and not be taken out of that form yet? Goddess of Death, initial poke. Kaluj, very, very low. Gonna use the Magneto ult so he can heal back up. Doesn't get a burst down. Wasn't fed enough DPS. And Kaluj is just getting knocked out cold. But he also needs to contest. It's overtime in favor of SHROUD-X, and this could be the first map loss for Sentinels in this Invitational, and Doomed has some space. He's gonna fly into the action. Invisible boundary being used from Kurova, so they have a bit of a base to work with. Some time for respawns to get back. You're missing Amazing, but Gomez will make up for it with the eliminations.
Yeah, wow. Super Gomez here just making up, because as Amazing fell there, that was a massive early pick, and they already used Hogs' ultimate clobbering time, but Gomez getting another pick on Doomed as well. But Window trying to respond with their clobbering time, setting up the combo, and at the last impunity trying to get an important pick here on the strategist does not land. And at this point, it's anybody's game as both Fate of both worlds are open. We've got the ult coming from Amazing, and he gets one pick, then two picks now. Can he continue the snowball? It's looking like it, but SHROUD-X does have some room because they are down only at 43%. Sentinels has the point. They're going to have to reset here. And if you look at the ultimates, it's pretty tied up with really Gomez having a bit closer to the Goddess of Death.
These Lunas are so neck and neck in terms of the timing. 1 or 2 seconds difference could be the end of Sentinels, and they were able to sustain through that. Now they hold the choke point. You see where the Hela and Namor are taking positions, really forcing SHROUD-X to go cross-eyed, trying to keep up, but that's a dangerous poke. Some poke damage into Doomed. He will be healed back up, needing to generate now some ultimate. SHROUD-X, no, they only need one fight win to take the map, but their Vanguards are at half health, and Sentinels need to finish off these kills, and the CC shuts down Window, and Sentinels now have built up to some important ultimates, but SHROUD-X know they have time. They need to gather all 6.
This was the Gomez I wanted to see on the Duelist. We've seen him a lot on Vanguard, and now it feels like he's back home. I mean, some clutch plays here as we've seen back after back. Now, the strategies, there've been some double ults happening, and I want to see if they're able to kind of reel things in here, as we do have a TP coming in from Window. They're going right into the point with the invisible boundary happening right away. We've got Doom going into Goddess above here. Nuck also running out there, stows that boundary. And here it is. This is going to come down to who gets that first imperative pick. Is it going to be Sentinels? Is it going to be SHROUD-X? This is what we've come here for. An insane match so far.
And Fidel gets the Luna ult 5% faster than Aramori, but Sentinels didn't die. So Aramori's going to be able to give that sustain through the later parts of the fight. And don't forget about the damage. And it's Super Gomez to you. What a comeback from Sentinels. They take map number 1.
Super Gomez, Amazing locking in at the end there. And my gosh, could that have been anybody's map? And they claim it 2-1. I mean, I've got to say, I thought SHROUD-X had it multiple times, but the last few fights there is what it came down to. And really the use of the ultimates and the strategist ultimate staggering. But oh, wow, this is what we came here for. Let's take a look at the stats here, break down what we're seeing with the eyeball test, and look at the healing. My goodness, Fidel with 42,000 down there. Aramori, Karava doing what it takes. What do you see out there?
It's not about who uses you.
for it. If you came for it, you're going to see it. But Cloak and Dagger, quick fix there as we have Rymazing going to Magic. Dive comp is about to happen. I could not be more excited to see how they close in on this point and address the situation.
So against a melee brawler like that, you can also just outposition it and hope to poke Magic down. So it's easier said than done, of course. And Doomed also doesn't want to accidentally pull that Magic in, because that's where she wants to be. And the poke vanquishes that Magic. And now Sentinels have to decide if they felt confident enough to take that 5v6, but their initial damage, they're not happy with it. They're going to have to wait for this Magic.
Doom wants another. He's like, give me more. Hey, sometimes you don't have to overcomplicate it. It's like rock, paper, scissors. Magic's great against Strange, being able to go through that shield. But guess who's good against Magic? Winter Soldier, able to get that pick early. That slows everything down for them. Doom trying to get a little bit of space here as Hogs is going to be aggressive on that Venom. Diving in, that's what they want to do best. As Star-Lord Gomez coming in hot. And then we have the follow-up by Hogs. Can they get it killed? No, Hogs going low. Now Magneto versus Magneto. Eric versus Eric. Impunity versus Kaluge. And Impunity getting the first elimination here, which is going to slow things down and have the capitalization as Gomez going down to Window going off, taking down Hogs. And this is going to be SHROUD-X's defense holding strong.
Yeah, with this double Vanguard with a Magneto and a Venom, like Kaluge is trying to keep up with where Hogs was and try to bubble him. Now he swaps to the Thing, and this is something they can kind of work better in tandem, because this Bucky pull is going to force Sentinels to fight at these inconvenient moments.
Yeah, absolutely here as the team's now going down Main Street, not afraid to take the main alley, and Window gonna have to hold the position strong. Hogs did flex over to the Thing, and that's gonna put a lot of stress on Doctor Strange, but Vision taking out the Hog before he can do anything. Thing goes down to Vision. It's a beautiful headshots we see there, and again, they're gonna have to back out. You take Main Street, great, but if you lose a pick early, you gotta get out of there. Now, we have a lot of ultimates coming up here. We do have Super Gomez and the Legendary, but it's gonna a little bit of an awkward point to go ahead and pop that. So we're going to see how they utilize these ultimates, as almost everybody has one.
And because of this Invisible Woman barrier that's in front of this Hela, Vision can keep holding these positions, and it's going to take a lot to dislodge them. Galactic Legend, though, and what a response! It will be the Invisible Woman barrier to deny that line of sight as Sentinels set up their own base. And now Sentinels are going to try to be aggressive. SHROUD-X are losing a lot of space. They get it back with the Eye of Agamotto. It only stuns Collusion, maybe Hogs, and they're fine with that. Aramori is going to place all of the cloak dashes for the extra heals with the ultimate, and you have Rymazing, Goddess of Death. If there's a recontest from SHROUD-X, it's first the Goddess of Death from Vision that's going to be poked down. Rymazing's going to try and match that.
Yeah, wow. I mean, the Eye of Agamotto there was tough. Really, they were all on the high ground there. Sentinels is going to be taking this fight. It looks like they are contesting. They're trying to do their best to keep that point. They have just a tick left before it's taken. There's 60 seconds left on the clock. Karova now taking down Impunity, and it's looking like it's going to be outmatched here. Aramori taking down Window, and here they fall. Now, that Eye of Agamotto, it was just tough here because a lot of them on the high ground trying to help, but that kind of exposes Window by himself, and we saw that Rymazing closed that window down really quickly as Agamotto went off. Didn't get a lot from it. And listen, the ultimates, they've been used up. Can the Sentinels lean into this aggressive push as Gomez is going to have to back out, get a little bit of healing as now SHROUD-X is regrouping and trying to push up, not letting them get too much of that point.
A lot of that time did get drained from Sentinels. It took them a while to cap, so they gotta make up for it. They gotta pick up the pace, and momentum has to be built from this upcoming fight. And Hogs is gonna be the setup man, one of the best vanguards in North America. The pull to bring Gomez back down to earth, and the finishing blow from Vision. Advantage for SHROUD-X, despite the Invisible Woman barrier from Karova, giving them a ton of heals. What's remaining of Sentinels still stands, and you got the Magneto ult to burst down and to pull Vision possibly into it, and at least to stop the rest of SHROUD-X from moving forward. Sentinels have all the picks, and the progress continues. SHROUD-X will do what they can. They have Window getting healed back up to full, which could be an Eye of Agamotto opportunity, but a Magneto ult first. Galactic Legend from the offense. It's chaos, Cozy.
Yes, my gosh, and the walk back's a little bit shorter, so SHROUD-X has the advantage here, but the Agamotto Yes, landing, but not getting what they wanted from it. Gomez taking down Vision now, and we have Kalush taking down Fidel. So we have one support down, and really just for ultimates, Ryan Mason can be able to pop it if needed. But taking down Doom with the snipe, we're now doing a little bit of what he can right now, but at this point, just trying to stall to the best of their ability. Nut goes down, Impunity goes down, Window goes down, and just like that, the cards fall. And after that Bucky hook too, I thought it was going to be looking pretty, but it ended up falling even though they walked with a shorter back and they could get their supports back a little bit faster.
And just to get progress throughout that whole fight, to get that many ultimates out of SHROUD-X, this could be a snowball that turns into an avalanche. What's most important to me is Sentinels had a full team CC. All of SHROUD-X were stunned, possibly by Hogs in that moment. He's an absolute bulldozer. Gomez, his confidence is being picked up. Look at him on this flank, paired up with his Hela. There's a lot of problems for SHROUD-X to address, and they gotta try and kill these duelists. And Doom, one problem has been solved. One more in the air with the Magneto ult from Sentinels is eating a lot of that damage that Doom was trying to deliver, and Sentinels will continue their reign.
This is a very good part of the map for Super Gomez to do his thing on Star-Lord. It is so hard to hide from Legendary here. They've already used the ultimate of Invisible Boundary to try to protect it. Nuck does not have one. Now, Fidel only has the Eternal Bond left to protect from anything that might happen, but we have Right Mazing that can just go into the Goddess of Death, and that's probably going to close things out. It's so hard to make this last push, trying to get through one of the choke points here, and we're going to see if they can successfully get through here. And Vision trying to do what they can. We do have Hogs being interrupted mid-clobbering time, and he goes down. Not only did he lose half the ult, but he also goes down to Vision, getting the pick here as the Eternal Bond is going to be coming out from Aramori. Great ult there to keep things steady and allow the ult to be built up for SHROUD-X as Vision takes down one, now two to Window, Doom making it three, Impunity, everybody's getting a piece of the pie, and down goes Sentinels in that fight. Huge fight to win. That's a tough position to be in.
And you're at the bakery when someone like Window is on your team with a fantastic Eye of Agamotto to put the cherry on top of that fight to fully wipe Sentinels. And that's going to take so much wind out of their sails. A minute left to push the last few meters. And their only ultimate is really this amazing Goddess of Death. And Gomez with the Galactic Legend, I'd like to see him go on an aggressive flank. And SHROUD-X are going to have to deal with it swiftly. They'll have the Invisible Woman ult to try and deny that, but in the neutral fight, you always got to be worried about the Bucky pull. Gomez starts with the Galactic Legend. There's the Invisible Boundary to limit that, and Sentinels are pushing the limits. There is the setup, the bowling pins, knocked down. It's a strike for Hogs. He's after the Vanguards. He's after a paycheck, and Sentinels have created such good progress from this.
Wow. That came down to who landed the combo, and Hogs was able to get the clobbering timeout, able to capitalize it on it, because listen, SHROUD-X, they had it. They had so many ultimates right there to try to slow things down. I will say that was a good hold. I want to say that was a good hold. 13 seconds left on the clock. Of course, they don't want it to be 0-3 right now, but overall, not only was it crazy that SHROUD-X was able to keep things at bay there and take over the point yet again, hard thing to do, but even crazier that with the ult advantage going to SHROUD-X, Sentinels, they were relaxed. They had Hogs built up after he did lose his ultimate, setting up the play and then ultimately finishing out the point.
Yeah, Sentinels to be able to retake that the payload just that far in, very incredible to see, because at some point you just can get poked down just on your approach towards the objective. And really good neutral fights utilizing that Bucky, just kind of how difficult it was for Sentinels to even get the ball rolling on the initial point capture, all thanks to that Bucky. And I like that Sentinels, they're humble enough to swap off of things that are not working, whether it's the Wolverine in the previous map, the magic that was getting poked down here, and now I think Sentinels have the secret sauce to go all the way and sweep this series.
Hey, it was fun to have the Venom at first, but the Hog switch into the thing was beautiful, and I think it put them in an uncomfortable situation. It's strange with the shield. It could just be awkward at times, and I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. The 2-2-2 has returned. All right, Mason Gomez being on the duelist, right where they need to be. 11,000 damage, 16,000, 13 kills, 16 kills. They're doing great and carrying a lot there in some of it. And altogether, we're going to see how they approach this defense now, because, listen, it was a little bit of a tough point to get at first here, as it looks like they might just go down Main Street. They've got the portal available, the TP, but listen, they're probably not going to be using that. That's not going to be like you see down in the gold ranks here. We're in the pro plays as they're looking to go up Main Street. Kalush trying to get an early pick and some poke damage.
It's always good to not only build up your own ultimate, but your strategist ultimate as well. And you have the thing kind of guarding these doorways, making it as difficult as possible, just being a human wall in himself. But Vision versus Amazing is the 1v1 of a lifetime to watch, but it does get traded by Gomez. Spin to win, one strategist down, and this offense can't really keep trucking. It is getting some equalizing picks though, so maybe it's not over for SHROUD-X.
Oh, and Window just missed that AoE on the support strategist, getting away just barely the Invisible Woman, but taking down Hawks. Vision now closing in on Gomez after the trade earlier, and beautiful pickup. I know Window wanted that AoE kill so bad with the Maelstrom there, but overall, great fast point. 5 minutes on the clock. We've got an eternity to push this thing, but the fight's going to be taken in closer than we saw earlier because there's not the spawn from point happening. It's a little bit closer this time as Window trying to build up the rest of that ultimate. Ultimate's now still at bay. We haven't seen anything because that was a quick capture point here as SHROUD-X is still feeling confident as they're bringing in the point or the payload up the hill here.
Yeah, neutral fight could be strong if Doom gets a good Bucky pull, but you also don't want to accidentally pull a Vanguard forward, but Hogs is just hitting the uppercut on these Vanguards, and Window is getting really close to the enemy team, and it's an Eye of Agamotto that gets stunned up! That is terrible! And Nook pulls the invisible boundary to heal everyone back up, so does Karova, but it's the Gomez playground with the Galactic Legend to catch anyone outside of those boundaries, and Sentinels get a clean team ace.
Oh my goodness, the ultimates there, they were set up for the bat, they got the fastball, they were trying to hit it, and just like yesterday, we saw Doom going again, and he only got one in there who's just about to trigger again, but then he ended up falling out in that Agamotto stun. That was the savior right there. That's what saved that push from happening. Honestly, good response after getting the point given really fast from the Sentinels here. But Windows still has the Agamotto. It came back online after the stun. Vision, Goddess of Death, and there's no ult ready right this second, although we're about to have Goddess of Death from Amazing.
Sentinels got to be careful where these strategists position. They do not want to be caught by that Eye of Agamotto from Window, but SHROUD-X could get some free progress if Sentinels do not contest this payload. But now approaching Gomez, going on a flank and trying to build up that ultimate. Wow, Amazing! Oh my god, he's pounding. This is insane work from the Hella. This is the Amazing we know and love.
That clobber in time from Hogs was absolute perfection. I mean, the way he just got a full stun, and at that point, Amazing just bing, 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 we're able to just pick the rest off. That was beautiful from Hogs there, and Amazing sweeping them up as they fall. Now, we do still have the ultimates ready to go, though, so not much out of that outside of Hogs using his. Gomez almost being picked here.
That was dangerous, and Gomez even gets bubbled by his Magneto, and this has been back-to-back fight losses for SHROUD-X. They at least have a lot of time to work with. They did cap the point faster than Sentinels. Has to be up to this Eye of Agamotto. It does stun up the tanks. Amazing popped before the Goddess of Death could come out. Karova heals, and so does Fidel. You got the dashes from Aramori, but do you have a fight win? Sentinels are starting to lose hold of this payload, but they're only down by one, but it's a critical strategist. Will they have the resources to sustain against SHROUD-X? This front line from Window and friends is cleaning up the eliminations, and SHROUD-X finally get progress.
Fidel, beautiful pick there on the strategist, and Window giving everybody a little bit of the piece of the pie there as he was trading target to target. Now he's going to try to portal close them here, or at least get some peeking. Here he goes. He's going to close them off. This is a beautiful strategy a lot of teams like to use. They're unable to go through here. It's going to slow them down a little bit here as they're trying to push through this little bit of a choke that can be awkward, and he knows where they're probably going to go. That's this backside of the point as our last match, or our last battle here before the second point is taken, is about to commence. They're kind of staying at the door a little bit. We're about to see if the push happens, and here we go.
Yeah, Nux still has the invisible boundary, and Sentinels don't have the same options. Magneto ult will break Sentinels out of this choke point. Space for Hogs to operate. Amazing now pops into the air with the Goddess of Death. It's going to be focused. It's going to be blocked. Galactic Legend. I don't know if you can block this. Gomez will be unleashed, and Sentinels hope to hold back SHROUD-X with 90 seconds left for them to push point B.
Now, luckily, that boundary was up for them to kind of default into. Window being aware of that, and now we have Doom taking down Kalush, and Gomez trading a little bit, but Vision taking down Hogs as well. And at this point, Doom's going to be able to do his thing. The again is happening. Amazing up at the top, trying to stay hidden. Gomez up in the sky as well, and he's trying to pin it down. Doom, Vision, everyone collapses, and they do get this next point. Now, I have to say, I would have wanted to see that legendary come out a bit later because they were able to default from the invisible boundary that they had previously for the Goddess of Death there. But beautiful capitalization there on the point.
I want to shout out Nuck too, using the shield while Doomed got knocked up by Hogs. That may have saved Doom. That may have allowed that Kraken impact to come out and finish off the fight. SHROUD-X, 2 minutes to go to the end. They want as much time as possible, but they also need to finish the map. Let's start with the first objective, but this poke is insane. Hogs got bubbled, brought back up to full, thanks to Kurova's ultimate. It's matched by Fidel dashing around, but Window is a menace on the front line, but these tanks are so healthy from the Sentinels side. Gomez has to go X Games mode on this Galactic Legend, and he plays with this team. He goes forward. Window is stunned, but this bubble 2 from Fidel is allowing everyone to heal through that ultimate. Now you got Kalush up next. The Magneto ult does not burst through. Doomed is low. Kraken impact wants he's healthy to try and carve through this front line, which seems untouchable. But Sentinels, they're crumbling one by one.
Going in blind with that again, and here's the story there. Hogs went down early because Vision was poking, so Kurova had to use their boundary early, and then they were out of ultimates at that point to support, and we had all the ultimates over for SHROUD-X with also the strategist ultimates, so absolute beautiful timing there as they did have to use the ultimate a bit early. Vision, great pulls here. They're trying to finish off the point, though, here.
Kurova got down to like 2 HP and got stunned. Window knows they're weak, and it's salting to the wound, but the Aya Bakamoto didn't land, but you know what does? Some pretty good dart damage from SHROUD-X. These time banks are gonna be so close, and SHROUD-X still have to deal with some people contesting from Sentinels. Respawns are close, and you can't fumble, you can't choke if you're SHROUD-X, and actually all 6 from Sentinels are coming back, including an emergency Captain America, which is gonna be so difficult to brawl against. And Window did just get kidnapped. SHROUD-X respawns aren't that much further. SHROUD-X may not be able to finish this.
We saw an appearance from the first Avenger trying to get to that point here. Impunity and Co. trying to finish it up strong at this point, trying to delay it. And listen, I've got to say, Window ramped it up heavy there and made sure the window is wide open to win this thing. After all, 1 minute on the clock, 1 minute and 10 seconds. This is going to be a close finish.
10 seconds is what separates both these teams. And now my voice is going out next, Cozy. I'm going to need water next. But also the difference of time banks decides who's going to be attacking first. Who is going to set where that finish line is.
Man, that was an impressive last battle on the hill there. I mean, if you look at how it happened, first of all, Captain America, if you guys are wondering why the quick switch, he's the quickest hero to get back to the point. Trying to put a little bit of pressure there, trying to keep this thing alive, but able to make sure that they had the advantage there. Really, they were trying to keep things going with the internal bond and stall a little bit. But I've got to highlight the strategist play from SHROUD-X there was phenomenal. Amazing, locked in. So we have just equal footing on both halves right now. And we see SHROUD-X on defense yet again. This is what we started out with. And I would say we had a little bit of a slow start. It was a dive comp to begin with from the Sentinels to get this thing kicked off. But let's see how they decide to attack the point here on the next attempt.
It just got so dicey at the end when SHROUD-X had the initial team fight win, and then respawns were coming back. It came down to that Kraken impact. Insane stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, they are putting up an impressive fight regardless. And Super Gomez being on that Star-Lord, this is a great map. But Ryan Mason has taken the role now. He's back over, so they're actually going back to the triple Vanguard. They've been playing 2-2-2. They're going back maybe to surprise them. They're going with the top portal. It's obvious, but it's not because they were not expecting it as they're trying to shift strategies at this moment. All taking the high ground here with the triple Vanguards. A lot to deal with. They don't have the Wolverine or anything to slow this down. And Hogs is coming in saying, hello, friends. I'm here as the battle's commencing. Impunity getting some damage early. Doom trying to get that hook on the thing, trying to get the finish kill. He does get him down to low health, and he does get the pick on Hogs to slow them down. Massive hit there, but Super Gomez doing what he does best, trying to get the damage going. Huge heals happening, keeping everybody up at bay, and they're deciding, should they retreat? Should they stay in here? Super Gomez going back for a little bit of healing, but the pressure on from Doom, taking down Magneto. Now Gomez goes down, and the triple Vanguard was slightly surprising, but SHROUD-X was still ready for it as they finish off Hogs.
Yeah, it started off with such a good portal, but now these strategist ultimates, got earned too late, 5 seconds too late from Kurova and Aramori. There's going to be a lot of stall created, but the people that could capitalize this are simply not around for Sentinels. So not getting that first third tick for Sentinels will dictate that SHROUD-X have a potential of winning this map in the next round, or we could also draw. So that's tough. Like I said, I like the initial portal because you just never know where that Hela is going to be setting up. And that Hela neutral fight, if she could get that first pick, it could have been over from Sentinels before they even knew where the objective was. So it was a good macro play, but the fight broke down and Sentinels couldn't get it done.
Beautiful defense there from SHROUD-X. I mean, honestly, the triple Vanguard, I understand the call there, but for them to be ready for that potentially is insane. And they really, honestly, Doom getting the pick there on Hogs early. And at that point, the ultimates are charging up. Window had his ultimate ready to go, and it's tough. They're having to swap to Spider-Man, trying to get to the point with the overtime clock. They've got 1 minute and 10 seconds here. Or the draw. I mean, this is going to be tight. Let's see what kind of comp they're going with here. It's looking to be very, very similar, and this is going to be close. I'm excited to see if SHROUD-X can capitalize and get the point here.
Now these neutral fight win conditions, the kidnap from Gomez on the Wolverine, bringing it out since that domination, to Doomed on the offense, who can get some early pulls. If you even just see like a Wolverine lurking around, which is going to be changed to the Star-Lord, same situation, still can be squishy, still a good elimination for Doom to try and pull in. Same thing with Rye Amazing, but I don't think we'll be in arm's reach. This is all coming down to pretty much the only fight that SHROUD-X have, and teleport could be an option if they want to go from behind, but it will just be a front-to-back approach from SHROUD-X.
Yeah, SHROUD-X was able to get this point pretty fast last time, actually really fast. And so I know there's some nerves settling into Sentinels here. We do have to have them back on the 2-2-2. So we do have Gomez back on the this Star-Lord as the pushes are happening early. Thing taking a lot of damage early, and Rye Amazing taking the high ground here, trying to pick off the other Hela in vision. Does pick him off, in fact. Now Nuck trying to run away, going invisible, running for their lives there, and Rye Amazing wants it. He smells it, the hunt, and oh, there it is. Nuck was not expecting the full commit of a follow-up. Window trying to defend his teammate there, and just like that, they're gonna have to back out for a second, reset for their last chance of a fight, with the ultimate charge being about equal for each team, with the Cloak and Dagger Fidel having 91%, Aramori 98.
Just for Rye Amazing to be like a fly on the wall, literally, I was like, what is he looking at? Like, you can't really have a good line of sight there. Knowing that Vision was going to push there is a next level read. The teleport, the last fight, couple of seconds, someone has to touch. It's the Vanguards in place. It's Vision with first blood. It's one strategist down and not a lot of healing for Sentinels if this goes long. And already, this defense has been pushed off the objective. You only need 33%, and SHROUD-X have done it!
Oh my goodness, the portal, the pick there from Vision. Are you kidding me? That was beautiful. We got the 4-3. There's no draw today. It is 1-1. And this is about to be such an intense matchup. SHROUD-X, Shroud, congrats on the win there. That was huge. Sentinels gonna reset here. But you got to go back and look at that 2-2-2 lineup and what they put together here. Looking at the stats, I mean, check out the team effort from SHROUD-X. Looking across the board here, Sentinels played a great game, but it all comes down to that last moment, and SHROUD-X capitalized.
Yeah, SHROUD-X having those two chances because they went for just the neutral fight at the beginning and used the portal second. That's that extra fight, and the extra 10 seconds always helps, and also being...
get a little bit excited there, the Rocket players in the lobby. But here we go. We've got the high ground versus low ground. Kalush trying to put a little bit of poke damage on here as they're all just trying to get on the payload here. And here we go. Window and Doom going in early with the kidnap. Huge from Gomez saying, get out of here. My goodness.
The focus fire, because Window could have maybe brought the shield up, but you're still overwhelmed, and, you know, I don't think a shield can protect you against 6 people. What a kidnap from Gomez. I've been looking forward to seeing this Wolverine more and more, but the jig is up, and now SHROUD-X have to mark this Wolverine, and he says, come at me, bro, and he's got even the bubble from the Magneto if things get a little hairy.
Yeah, we saw Gomez play Wolverine on map 1 there. He does get the kid out of here on Impunity. Impunity going down too, so now they're shorthanded big time. Now, Airmori does go down. Vision does get the nice pick there, so they are down 1 support, but we're having the tanks come walk back. Window just made his walk. Now Impunity having to get their way back. Right, Mason, though, taking down Vision in response, getting around this tough corner here, but using the bubble early. And now they're just going to have to reset and get together here. SHROUD-X is going to have to get their team locked in here, but we do have... Wow, this... This is going to be intense here. Gomez waiting for another kidnap.
Yeah, and even just some initial progress. So SHROUD-X are gonna be 1 fight away from capturing point A, dealing now with the Namor squids, building up towards some ultimates. And what stands out to me, 20% between Fidel and Aramori. That's gonna be big. Kalush with the Magneto ult. If he's worried about anything, could just hold it in response to something SHROUD-X throw at him, but the kidnaps in the neutral fight to isolate some of these tanks, and the passive Gomez doing pretty okay. SHROUD-X deciding to leave the payload.
Narrowly missed that kidnap. He almost had it. Logan fans, if you're looking for Wolverine, well, we got it for you. We have the Magneto bubble going out, and Kalush having to use that early. He does go up with Meteor M, and it lands it on Doomed of all people. Huge clutch shot there from Kalush as the team's now coming in together. We have the Agamotto popping out. We might get multiple kills. No, but the ultimate's protecting. The whale goes down. It's the fireworks. Here's the ultimates, and no one trading yet. A lot of damage going through here, Lemon.
That's incredible. Fidel and Vision went for the combo with the Luna ult and the whale, and somehow it didn't burst it down. Shout out to the strategists. If they were still alive, though, from Sentinels, I think once the dice have fallen, the cards are on the table. SHROUD-X have fully taken over.
My goodness, Vision. I said it on the first map. I said King of the Seas. What a tremendous play there, just wrapping things up. Getting through this kind of awkward point, but the portal coming. They're saying, no, not yet. Gomez popping in the portal as the Doctor Strange. We're back to triple Vanguard here, trying to stall the point. And it is as close as possible here with the invisible boundary popping up early for Kurova, trying to win this battle. Vision having to pop up into the bubble early now. Let's see how this unfolds.
Vision couldn't get back to safety, though. The bubble is not a speed train. They haven't invented that yet. Vision just took such a big risk going on that pretty much a flank, and I'm glad that Amazing marked it and shut it down. Now SHROUD-X, their next win con, either the strategist chess match, or it's going to be this Eye of Agamotto from Windows. Sentinels realizing it. Look how they're backing away, giving up all that space. Gomez, the ball is in his court on how he wants to block this upcoming ultimate. Doesn't want unnecessary damage to hit that shield, so he can have it ready. Early burst, Eye of Agamotto, mostly blocked from Gomez. I don't see anyone stunned, so now it's up to Sentinels to fight back.
Tremendous switch, tremendous block there from Gomez, because that Agamotto was going to be spelling doom. And just like this, it's turning, it's flipping. The Agamotto comes, but it is blocked as well. But the whale coming in from Amazing, finishing that. It was a game of inches. They almost had it there. Now we do have a big ult coming, but does not land from Impunity. And at this point, it is looking rough for SHROUD-X as Impunity goes down as well. We're in overtime. This is it. Hogs killing. It was a game of inches. Can they get there? And with the visual boundary, Gomez taking out Window as well. Seconds on the clock. Can they touch? They cannot. Lemon. They were so close to free. That was a tremendous defense from Sentinels.
I can't believe it. It's not who you play, it's how you play it. And the execution of ultimates from Sentinels was sublime. First, the Whale Luna combo actually killed. It bursted people down. That was important from Sentinels. Just overall, such good teamwork from that team. Along with even the Magneto ults, everything incredible stuff from Sentinels. I thought SHROUD-X were going to be able to cap point A. They had so much momentum, but then Sentinels were able to portal back. Oh, that's what I forgot. The Eye of Agamotto from Sentinels stunned 3 people at the start of the fight. You didn't stun anyone from SHROUD-X's side.
I gotta say, as we look at the stats, I mean, the payload was a Ant-Man away from the point, and that's why you don't give up. And the swap there, I was saying, hey, we want the 2-2-2, but the triple Vanguard, I mean, Gomez flicks beautifully there into the Doctor Strange. The block on the ultimate on Window really set him up for success there at the end of the fight. You guys can see here, I mean, Ryan Mazing having a fantastic game. We know him as a GOAT duelist. Guys, listen, he was #1 in Alpha, #1 in Beta at times. He's great at what he does, and seeing him lock in here, love to see it here, but I'm stunned that SHROUD-X did not get that point there because it was right there for the taking.
And now this is no longer becoming a marathon, but a sprint with that finish line for Sentinels to win the series just at the end of point A. SHROUD-X need to burn as much of this time bank as possible, force as many fights as possible, while not making too many mistakes. Sentinels already approaching the high ground. The pull won't get impunity, but he will still give that up. Now, you have to worry about Sentinels looking above them. Some early pit potential. Aramori cleans up Nook, and Vision falls too. Impunity got stunned, and Sentinels have built something up that's special.
Yeah, this is massive. I mean, they were going to need to have a defense of their life here, and right away, falling down on this first turn. I mean, like we just saw, it doesn't matter if there's just an inch left. You can protect the point here, but they're going to have the greatest defense we have seen up to this point, because this is going to be tough to hold them back. They're playing aggressive right now. Gomez ready for the early kidnap. Look at him stalking the prey here, ready to get the kidnap early. They're pushing up to the meat point here, and we've got our last potential fight of this legendary matchup about to happen.
I was so close to Doomed getting picked, and Ryan Mazing taking a safer position, not going too deep. Hogs, though, with a nice setup, tossed up everyone from SHROUD-X, and Fidel gets dangerously low. You gotta worry about these duelists from Sentinels, taking these off angles around the buses. SHROUD-X protecting themselves well. You have to build up towards these strategist ultimates. I'm looking at Nook and Fidel to save the day. This is the final defense, and it has to be flawless for SHROUD-X, but the CC is everything from Hogs, and SHROUD-X, the strategist, couldn't keep everyone in time. You got the whale in response from Vision, but it's really too little, too late. Sentinels have more in the back pocket. They still have a Wolverine ult. They have a Magneto at the back, and Sentinels have done it.
I mean, Nook was just a hair away from that Invisible Woman ult to save the day, and it was just a little too late. The pick started folding and happening. That was like a scene out of Endgame. I mean, that was incredible matchups happening, and you got to give it to them. Sentinel said, it is still our house. They wanted to get it. It was 1-1, not anymore, 2-1.